Put a little bit of the rub, nigga, I gotta be safe.
Let's get to sports talk.
For today, John Pascal asks, what's the bigger threat to the Chiefs, the Denver Broncos or the LA Chargers?
Ooh, man. That's a really good one because I look at the Broncos for one of those teams to say watch out for. And I think you agree with me. I mean, again, that defense is really good. Bradley Chubb will be back. They got Jarrell Casey. They traded for A.J. Bouye. There's some things there you look at and go, wow. And, of course, the Drew Lock factor. Mm-hmm. But I think for right...
If Drew Lock can duplicate he did in the middle of the season, once he came back off the injury and came and became a starter, if he could counter off the success he had this season when he came back in the middle, then they could be a dangerous team. If he keep growing and progressing and just capitalize off what he did, and then going to that season, then you can look at the Broncos climbing back up there. They ain't a threat just yet because the Chiefs still have their Super Bowl team attached. Yeah, they bring in Casey on the defense. Yeah, they still got something for Drew Lock to throw to. Well, outside of him, you got to put another guy opposite of him because now they know he's a Pro Bowler. Something is going to be a guy that's going to get double teamed. So who is that next guy he could go to when he can't get to something? You got to have your young quarterback out and put something around him. Not just one guy. We see what happened when you just have one guy to throw to. It tends to crumble because you're looking for that one guy. And they do have a good tight end. They still trying to see what his progress is going to be. But outside of Sun, they need to bring in another guy to go beside him to help Drew Lock out. But if Drew Lock could capitalize what he did in the middle of the season, then you can see Denver climbing up a little more. But the Chiefs are going to be a tough team to beat.
Now I'm going to stick with Chargers. For right now, I am. Just because I guess there's a little more of a proven commodity there in that defense. They were in the playoffs 2 years ago. They've improved their offensive line. There are weapons at receiver. Tyrod Taylor is certainly not as sexy as Drew Lock to me, but he has taken a team to the playoffs. So, I really like the prospects of what Denver could do, but I think right now I'd probably give the edge to the Chargers.
Yeah, look, I'm excited by what the Denvers can.
You can get to the Chargers because Tyrod Taylor is a game manager, and he have the weapons around him to be able to help the Chargers get back to the playoffs, help the Chargers get back being the top of the division because he still had Williams and Keenan Allen, so and Henry, so he still have the weapons around him to help him out. That's why I say it's gonna take a little bit for Denver. A long time because they only got one guy to go to. And the Chargers have three guys to go to. So it's a big difference between them. And they have a quarterback that managed the game well and barely turned the football over. So then you can see the Chargers compete with the Kansas City Chiefs because they got weapons also.
The Denver Broncos can do with Drew Lock at quarterback. It was great to see it late in the year last year. The defense is going to be better in Vic Fangio's second season. We've talked about how great Pat Shurmur could do with that offense. The arrival of Melvin Gordon, I think the Broncos are a bigger threat. I think that they haven't been all that off the past couple of years. And, like so many of these other teams, we see a team turn it around quickly. Some of these teams that turn it around and go from non-playoffs to playoffs, they weren't that far out of the playoffs in the first place. And right. you make one adjustment here, one adjustment there, and you've bent the one-loss record in your favor. And I could see them overcoming the Chargers. I could see them being the number 2 team in the division this year, maybe a wild card team, maybe a real threat to the Chiefs. If there's any type of a Super Bowl hangover in Kansas City, I'm excited about what the Broncos can do. Now, would I like to see Drew Lock have the benefit of a full offseason program? Yes, but he get thrust into the fray last year after he'd missed all that time.
And he did very well once they threw him in that fire. Why they moved on from Joe Flacco and released him because they saw a promise in Drew Lock. So they chips was all in with him. You just got to see what he going to do with having the off season so he can continue growing. And that's what you want to see with him.
With the wrist injury, and he was fine. He's got that quiet confidence, that looseness that I think you need to have in a potentially great quarterback. He's not freaked out by the moment. He loves it. He embraces it. He relishes it. You were all over him last year as a potential first-round pick. He slid to round 2, and I think he's going to prove a lot of people wrong starting this year.
Yeah, well, again, he's the perfect example of another guy where if he came out the year before, he's going to be a slam dunk top 20 pick, but he stayed in one more year, the team fell apart, and then everybody viewed him differently because we all blame the quarterback for everything. Pass protection, whether the receivers catch the ball. It's crazy how we do that, but he's played a lot of football in the SEC, Mike, and you hit on it. You hit on all the right points. He does have a very nice, quiet confidence about him.
And that's what you need, a confident young quarterback. And plus, they like him because he pushed the football down the field. He have a very nice arm. And that's what owners are looking for. That's what GMs are looking for. A nice guy with a nice arm, and Drew Lock has that. And that's what they like about him.
And he does not seem rattled by anything, let alone you and I saw him make a lot of big-time talented throws last year, and I think that should excite Denver. I mean, listen, I picked the Chargers, but I'm with you. I hear you with a lot of the things you're saying with Denver. Denver is one of those teams you got to say watch out for this year in the AFC.
Hi, I'm Mike Tirico, and thanks for watching. Make sure
The best, stuffing them shits in the safe. Got me a spot out